think it's something. I thought the A1 one was a grain, was to do with grain. Is it the same thing?
Same thing.
It's the same farm, the same owner.
Same owner, yeah.
It's the same plant.
And it will be quite visible from our parish.
Did you go for that form, isn't
It will be visible, very visible because of the look. But I don't know how far back from the hill. High
I
Park's the
couldn't
one.
find it on the map.
High Park's the
It's-
standable
yeah,
top of the cliff.
Aye, it's not anywhere near that one.
No,
I
it's
know,
not.
so
It's back to
It's
that
the
one
same.
back one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can see it's if you went down Walshoff Lane,
You'll see
like
it,
all the way
it's
down
on
the
the hill.
farms.
Yeah.
It's the farm you can see from the bottom of
It's got
Walshoff.
landslide.
But isn't it just
But in fairness,
No, it's one of these drying facilities. So
Yeah, but doesn't it just look like farm?
steam. Probably, but it's the
Fire bill,
I
it's
think it's the
stacked.
steam cloud that people are concerned about. It's a cloud factory.
There's one on the corner of the A1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you only see on certain angles on the road.
I think the concern was the main routes from the A1 going through West.
Yes, it's the traffic is the issue.
Yeah, it's trucks and stuff.
Yeah. Past the school.
But then maybe they should, well, I'm sure the traffic planners will look at that anyway.
But they don't the thing is though, they do look at it, but they don't really take it into consideration. If highways say it's accessible, they're not bothered about the...
I mean, they've got the other alternative of coming off
Where the other factory is.
well, when you use Prison Road,
Yeah.
then it's much easier.
Yeah, they were the sat-navs will be
So the delivery vehicles going to and from that premises are entitled to use the road if that's there.
Oh yeah, it is.
So,
And the thing is though, it's like we've got Accrington Mart there, that, you know, everyone comes through and, you know, do we have a problem?
Bring more traffic.
was it not unfair to say that everybody else is allowed to use trucks for you?
I mean, if it was the
There's a bit of a
resident that
difference in
emailed...
this is going to be continuous trucks.
Is it?
Is it?
It's just these tractors, wasn't it?
Well, it is. It's
Well, I assume that
It's
the
nowhere
tractor's
in the
going in
summer.
there anyway.
It's not as another one, we got all
the
the
fuel
fuel
for the
going
plant
down
has
the
got to be
street.
trucked in.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Stuff that the drive's got to be trucked in.
You've got horses.
That's what I'm saying.
Whatever
It's
drive
not
for
like
the
we
truck.
get tractors going up and down all the fuel and hay on the back.
It's,
There's already one plant in existence on his land. Why doesn't he build another one right beside it? Rather than.
I think the person that emailed me had obviously been concerned about the visual impact that it's going to have, and it will be potentially visible, but I don't know whether
The same bit of, it can't be the same farm.
I think it's the same.
Same landowner.
the same farm.
Right. Did you go to it?
There was there, and then just moved up.
Okay.
But yeah, it's traffic seems to be
So
the main
traffic's
concern.
the main issue with it.
Alright, it's chimney, it's unsightly. I don't think you can find anything else.
But then I guess is it the farm just trying to diverse then from expanding?
Well, a couple of things. Obviously, you've just got that one of the A1, now we've got this one. It's not an industrialisation of the countryside. Secondly, it's within the SSI side of the river Crooked, sort of the grading system like that.
Is
It's
it,
also
sorry,
on the,
it's within the triple SI zone.
I think the zone is the first zone is the water, but it's obviously higher up, so you have a tiered zone from the river either side, so it will be within one of those zones of the triple SI site. Another thing to consider is that I don't know whether you've driven along the A1 when the wind's blowing and having to drive through the steam. Last week was actually travelling along the steam line, so it was like for a mile, which I've got reported. There's also settles to the north where the topography of the land, the steam and whatever emissions come out settle in that area. So one of my concerns would be that if the easterlies are bringing the emissions towards the village, it actually has the potential to settle within the river area because there's very little movement once you're in that meandering part of the stream. So there's other elements that I would hope that the council sort of would consider.
What's the prevailing winds in the area? You're supposed to westerly.
You get onshore breezes.
Pardon?
You get onshore breezes even when you've got a westerly wind.
Yeah.
I know know, but I'm just, it was
making it
a question I had that I wasn't aware of what the prevailing winds were.
What comes out of it? Is it just steam?
Steam.
Supposed to be saying, yeah.
Apparently.
Well, they've got to heat it, so there is a chimney belching out gas pollution.
Gas pollution.
The burn.
Well, it's got to be
Yeah.
heated, it's a big burner.
It's just a big dryer.
It's a dry.
It's
Right.
just drying all the feed to make it dry for the horses.
Right,
For
right.
most people.
It's
Get
like
rid
I
of,
said,
get rid of
dry,
dust and stuff.
dry paper pulped
It's
animal
paper.
bedding.
Yes.
It's going to involve a feeder, drum, burner, stack installation and control room.
Okay.
There isn't any gas or anything on site, so they have to burn.
So
They have to what, sorry?
brings
It's
it
a gas on site, so they've got to burn materials.
So it's got to be transported there.
and it's fueled by gas.
No, there's no gas on site.
Right, so they're not bringing in gas to burn to.
No, they're bringing in wood chips.
Yeah.
So it's a biomass.
Just quick little word, we've got 11 minutes left, so we may need to extend. I think we've sort of like merged that one into the planning
Yeah.
anyway, so we'll move on to planning, if that's okay.
Yeah.
And if there was further discussion on it, we can discuss it then. So,
We've looked at most of them.
Most
These
of
are
them,
the new ones at the bottom, Riverside, which is just a shed. 50 metres to Main Street, which is obviously Castle Poodles, and this High Park Farm. So do you want what's the view? Is there a comment to go in on High Park Farm, or do we not? Is it feels quite
I feel
inconclusive?
concerned for our neighbouring area traffic.
Well,
Right,
it comes
is
from
it-
the
is
home.
They'll come up, because they're coming down from Scotland, they will use the village,
Yeah, they'll come straight down Main Street.
yeah.
because that's where there's satellite navigation. So, yeah, it will be affecting us eventually.
So perhaps it would be raised as a potential traffic concern through the village.
I, from a completely selfish point of view, from somebody who walks along the river in that direction, the thought of there being a mission, like even though I know it's steam, it will be unsightly, and I think it's part of our,
It's not just steam, they're saying.
Okay, yeah,
they're burning fuel.
they are burning fuel as well, but the visual thing, what you can see,
Yeah.
and I don't want to mission, it's probably not the worst of it, but the visual impact on us enjoying our,
Financially, it's the right location, but it's not the right location industrially.
yeah.
We can't object on the basis of visual impact.
What about smell?
You can,
Smell from
it's
It's
not,
really
it's not an industrial zone, there are industrial zones available in this area.
Past on it.
There's
No,
no
you
reason
walk
to
down
commit
Yeah.
to a farm, just because a shed happens to be empty.
Got lots of sheds empty up there as well. So
It's not going to fall in the river shortly, isn't it?
I'll have a look at
The farm will alright.
The hot that
The flat
road,
houses.
is the
The
flat on the houses, I knew that,
They
but
built
the
a new, they
actual,
built a new road.
right.
I'll have a look at what we can put in terms of planning objections on those. I mean, we can just raise our concerns, even if it's not a planning matter, it can just be, at least we've noted our concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And
So unsightly and traffic. Yeah.
Just industrial traffic, yeah.
I think there's the triple SI point as well.
Yeah.
Environmental should
Yeah.
as well.
If you just look through the other comments, you can cut and paste within like 5 minutes.
First, this is quite detailed, I'll borrow some of Lisa's work.
Yeah.
Just put it through chat GPT, is it? Put it through chat GPT and then get a new one.
Rewrite this,
Was the LBC?
this building concept.
Is that the one in the corner? That wants to.
It's the one that
So they just want to repair the garage that's.
Yeah, and they've had a few things, they had the outbuilding a bit higher up, and are they not
it's the other side.
For
The garage is like next to it, but yeah, I think it's been approved as well.
Yeah, it has.
That's nice.
Do we need to discuss, does anybody want to discuss John's? We have to just, no comments.
I don't think there's any, I don't see why we would get involved on it. There's no impact personally on the village, really.
I'm on that
If
with you if
anybody
you want to
wants
have a
to,
conversation.
if anybody has strong feelings about it, I mean, you can obviously ask John to leave now, or you can send comments around everybody else by email, and if necessary, we can have an extra meeting.
Will it block anyone's view of the Christmas tree?
Depends where you're standing with it. Come on.
If you're standing in Scotch Garden, maybe.
yes.
If you're standing in my garden, you might not see it.
Will
Unless I
it,
get a big Christmas tree.
will it include a Felton Parish stage?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, if anybody has any comments, put them through. If I feel like I'm getting used to diagnosing them out, I can.
Okay.
How far does it go up? Because I couldn't see the plans that wouldn't let me,
Plans
on
look
it
great.
the other day.
So you know what's already there. You know, it's a single story. Am I allowed to say this?
Yeah.
Right. The single story that's already there, we're building on top.
So you've gone up 2 heights.
Just on this current single story that's there. That's going to allow a bedroom for one of the other bedrooms to be turned into an office.
Do you not need more bedrooms though?
Well, the boys share. currently we have 3 kids and 3 bedrooms, so inevitably we'll
Currently.
yeah. Well,
That's something new you're telling us.
I am not.
Certainly not subject to planning permission.
And it's out of this budget.
Anyway, we're not building another bedroom on the house as such. We're moving the office from the admin side of the office home. So the upstairs of our house is going to change the layout a bit. The downstairs is the bit that is like a new build, if you like, and that's going to come out 6 meters, single story. So there's already a sandstone wall there, and essentially there'll be a roof on the top of that. So I'm trying to find maps and stuff like this to see what was there originally, because there is ruins of an old stone building there.
There's quite a few of the premises down Main Street that used to have hovels behind them.
Yeah.
So there's like, you can see in my garden there's like a little window in the wall.
Yeah.
And it's because people used to build like, they were called hovels, and they were like one room dwelling places, and they would rent them out to people. And then there was the cook house at Garden House, where everyone used to go to cook the food.
So currently there's a sandstone wall, and then there's a red brick, like a room, and then there's like a red brick repaired bit. The red brick repaired bit will not be touched, but the sandstone bit will come down and go like back up a bit closer, because the current house has got like a bow in it, which is particularly irritating. So that will become square, but that will go out to a single story.
Sounds fine.
Right, anyway, if you've got comments in by email, and as I say, I'll let you know if there's a huge disagreement.
Do we get good positive comments on our home application?
I don't think so.
That's a shame.
Maybe we should have individuals.
That's a good point. Can we as individuals?
I don't know.
Oh, spouse is name.
Items for next agenda, have we got anything?
The plant pots on Main Street.
Yes.
I'm going to bring on the property management committee.
Are you going to look at those? Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll have to be to the property management committee, but also on the idea that there would hopefully be a solution put to the Borough Council quickly.
The Felton the main things which pots. I'll have some information in our email on. Okay.
resident happy about those flower pots now? The one that was unhappy about them?
No.
Still not happy?
Well, I think the property management committee needs to.
I have one of, just on it,
Well,
One
that
was-
was talk about in the correspondence received, but I
Yeah.
think we should.
we probably should have.
So the backstory for
The night that the resident passed comments on it is the night of a power cut to the village where the street lighting wasn't working and in a amber weather warning, which I've passed them multiple times since in varying degrees of darkness, and they are fairly visible under the street lights unless a car is parked in a particularly tight to the entrance to Cookville on the north side of that entranceway.
I agree with the other.
It depends on the-
number of times, and they are sometimes not very visible and sometimes very visible.
I think it depends on probably the height of the vehicle, because all street lamps are on the west side of the street, which causes part of the issue. But
The main issue is they are black. The plant pots are black, and the compost is black. But in about 2 weeks, there's going to be 50 odd daffodils burst out of them.
Are they the new pots or the old ones?
They
can
are.
we extend 5 minutes? I think we can wrap it up in that.
Yeah.
Happy.
So myself and Chris went down to the bridge with all intentions of removing the wooden ones, and there's no base in them. It's just a
The
plastic
rock
bag.
completely.
But we're not
away.
swapping out the
So-
old composite pots.
Yes. So because to be honest, I was going on holiday, and I took the decision and contacted the rest of the property management team. Said, for speed, can we get to the new ones, put some compost in, put them there with the idea of there is 2 composite ones on the bridge to swap them over, because it's just a lift for a lift
Yeah.
then, you know. And I know you've all seen the email that went around. This was brought to the attention of the parish council ages ago, like months and months and months ago. I reported it to fix my street, because I have witnessed, and it's been reported to the parish council, that there's been vehicles driving from north and south, driving onto the pavement to go to various places, the shop, the cafe, for a wander, wherever. It's not just cars, delivery vehicles, the Royal Mail, the tractors and trailers, vans, delivery, you know, takeaways.
Sainsbury's,
Sainsbury's for
Sainsbury's
parked
regularly.
Yeah.
And the idea was reported to Fix My Street to try and get the county to do something about it. We got a letter back. I got an email back. The parish council got an email saying one of your parish councillors has been on Fix My Street. And I don't want to paraphrase the email, but if you don't mind, I will. Basically, they said we could look to put bollards there, but the alternative solution is a more decorative solution to be planters. As long as no part of the planter was closer to the edge of the curb than half a metre. So we said, right, well, we'll put them a metre away and 2 metres apart from the curbs and the drop curb. Any buggy of any size can get down there. It's just sort of slightly narrower than a car, but in theory you could have 2 wheelchairs pass one another, and no one should have a problem. The reason for starting there was that particular location does adversely affect 2 houses, but it's also an entrance to Coated Vale and all of the houses on that road, and the brick house further up there and up onto the rigs. And if you're coming out of Coated Vale or the rigs, you cannot see what's coming down that curve until your eyesight's out past it, and by that point you could have been crashed into. It's convenient that we've put the plant pots there while it's been suggested there's an argument ongoing, but having spoken to the resident who's named in that email, he has not had an argument with the developer. So while I responded to everybody, saying, you know, we went and fixed my street, and this is the timeline for it all. We just happened to do it that weekend as the start of trying to improve things.
Yeah.
And if the planners aren't suitable, the guy who contacted back from Northumberland County Council said, if that's not, he didn't say if it doesn't work out, he said if that's not suitable then we could consider bollards there. But bollards are a very permanent thing.
Could we put in a tall, you know, like sort of, I know it's a bit grand perhaps for Felton, but could you put one of those doubler plant, you know, like if there was more height to bring it up
No,
to
because people have dogs and leaves and
Yeah.
walk by the side of it.
We
So
had, there were canes that were right down to the base of the planter that somebody
Two
was
and a half
dog
metres
went
tall.
one way and
but then that's the same as a street lamp, you know, you
Yeah.
could go inside the street lamp, couldn't you? You know,
Or the
and
telegraph
just
pole.
for the tricking point, you could have, if you had a
Yeah.
two-tier thing,
So to make it more visual, visually, to make it more visible,
one
we,
way.
you put canes in which were destroyed, and the solar panels, because it's winter, the little solar lights can't get enough sun to keep them on all night. So
We could, I mean, somebody else said something about bikes and things, so we could put reflective strips on them. I think the other thing is just communication. I think, had we put something out before we did this saying, the parish council will be installing these on the advice of county council. The reason why we're doing this is X, Y and Z, they will be installed on this date. We might have had some feedback saying, please don't do this. And at least then we could have considered what people were saying, but also people would have been prepared for it, and even in the absence of street lights might not have, and I think that might be,
No.
no.
Or maybe they could
No.
have
I don't think it would have made a difference if we put post out. It was just, maybe it would have got more comments back.
and we just,
One thing I have noticed, there has been some positive comments on it,
Mhm.
which is,
Right.
it's good. So, like,
Right.
yeah, no, yeah. So,
can I, in the interest of just, can we then, so the property management group to revisit and look at solutions to the problem?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, the obvious solution is reflectors and big white pots
yeah, but
No.
yeah.
in a timely manner, because God forbid anyone should have an accident on them. You know, it's definitely worth setting out to A, upset anybody, or two, try and injure anyone. And it was a very personal, I took it very, very personal. The email that came through is very to the point and unnecessary.
Well, I had it at my door, pretty much verbatim what was said in the email.
date to the next meeting, 4th of March, 24.
24.